Hi, everybody. It's Darlene Holly, and welcome to the Attract and Stand Out live interview series. I am so excited for today's guests. I have with me Lori Miller and Victoria Rains with My Loyalty Company. Welcome to the show, guys, girls.
Thank you.
Hi. We're honored to be here, Darlene. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for being on with me. I am so excited to share your story and learn a little bit more about you and your business and kind of how it came to fruition. So to get us going, go ahead and introduce who you guys are, and then tell us a little bit about where did this idea of having this tea business come from?
I am Victoria. I am a mother of four, and my mom and I, I want to say 8 years ago or so, we were just on the phone talking about what would our dream business be if we could get out of our day jobs and just do something awesome. And our original idea was something like a brick and mortar tea shop in our local town, which is still a dream one day. But fast forward 6 years and we just kind of sat on this idea and we were like, let's just start it online. If, we can't do it, open a brick and mortar now, let's just see what we can do online. And it's just kind of started from there.
Right. And I myself, this is the avenue that I really enjoy. My daughter is super creative, so I can see her doing that aspect down the road. But I really love that online space. I just love everything about it. So.
Yeah.
And who are you?
I'm the mother. I'm Lori, and I'm just my daughter, Victoria. And I think you said that, didn't you?
Yep.
Did you introduce me?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was half listening because I was more nervous about what I was going to say. So anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So where did this idea then to open the My Loyalty? What was the tea? Tell us a little bit about the tea background. Are you guys avid tea drinkers, or where did that piece come from?
Yeah, I've been drinking tea my whole life. I think it started, I have a little story I wanted to share with you. I was 3 years old, and my great-grandfather, he was from Ireland, and he, in his Irish brogue, one day I came into his room, and I had a little tea set, a little cream and sugar, and, the whole thing, and I walked over to him with my little smile on my face, and he said to me in that lovely Irish brogue, and he called me his little tea lady. And I never forgot that, my whole life. And it was just to me, it was prophetic. So and we had talked about that. I told my daughter that story, and it was just one of those days you never forget when we started talking about it on the phone. And then one day we were at her house, my daughter's house, and we were, I told her that story, and we're like, yeah, that's definitely the seed form of our business when it started.
And then I've always been really more natural minded, and I really like what herbs can do to heal anything that's wrong. It's not 100% or anything, but I've always been very fascinated with herbology or whatever, however. Yeah.
Well, you
research
were pre-med, so biology and physiology.
Right. But I really like how natural medicine works. And so I thought, if you can, put tea and water and just make some concoction that can help you with an ailment that you might have, or just to make you feel better in general, boost your immune system, or boost your
immunity. This is one of our own proprietary blends, Immunity, and then we have Good Morning Vitality, and these are all made out of rice paper too. So we really try to, our bags are not our tea. And, we have Road to Relaxation for evening blend. A lot of times people are into the morning routines and evening routines, and I am. So that's one of the things people need. Energy. Green tea is known, according to the research, to really bring you some good energy. And then we have our chamomile blend, Road to Relaxation, for people that, need to just kind of start to wind down their day. Things like that.
Yeah.
So putting together the blends was something that I've always been pretty creative, and I really enjoy that kind of thing. So we were just let's do this and see what we come up with, and let's try stuff and see if it's something that people would want to buy.
And it's really important that I'm sorry, I just totally blanked out what I was going to say.
No, it's okay.
Oh, that it was very important to us that not only according to the research, like with immunity, we have, green tea, and I'm looking at the packaging over here, our elderberries and echinacea and astragalus root and peppermint leaves. Not only are these things that help boost your immune system, but with the ingredients, but it was very important that every one of our teas, even our specialty line, tastes delicious. That's like imperative to us. So
yeah.
And everything's organic. We have certified organic farmers and growers. I mean, we're not crushed up powder, Darlene, in plastic tea bags. I mean, that's a big thing for us. So
yeah,
that's what makes us stand out.
That was one of the first things that I noticed when I went to your website is it looks like your tea looks beautiful. Like I could totally see it like seeping on my counter and like having all the bold colors and like the fragrance of it that would go with it, which is important, especially like a lot like tea lovers. They're really into their tea, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah, I brought one of them. You mentioned that. Like, this is our orange spice tea. I don't know if you can see it, but see some of the ingredients. I mean, you could see that. I mean, there's like life in this tea.
It's almost like a potpourri. It smells so good. It's so fragrant.
So aromatic. That's one of the things I say a lot too, that our tea is, I'm sorry, you're speaking. Go ahead.
That's okay. I was just going to ask, like, so how did you start creating your own tea? Like, what did that process look like for you guys before you even started the business? I'm envisioning like you were in your kitchen and you were messing with tea and like making different concoctions for yourself. And that's kind of how it came together. Is that an accurate description? Or?
Absolutely. Like I've always been into, making my own tinctures. So I've got herbs on hand in my hutch. So it's just looking at it. What am I trying to do right now? Do I want something to relax me? So let's go to my herb cabinet and let's look and see what I can find. And then I'm looking online. Okay, this herb I know does for this, or this herb for this. There's just tons of research and putting them together in a specific way to make them taste good. Because I have gotten, like particularly with the mother's milk tea to help with nursing moms, just get that, a little bit of extra help with milk supply. I mean, I struggled with that so much with my kids. And it was something that you buy the bag tea at the store and it just tastes horrid. I would have to just I'd put it on ice, plug my nose and put like a ton of lemon in it just to like take it like a shot, just so I could get it in my body because it tasted so horrible. So it was something that was super important to me to make sure that I made it taste good too. Right. Not only that, but have, just change the blend a little bit to make it so it tastes good and not just be so
medicinal.
Very.
And then it makes it totally unique to you and your company too. Yes. So if other moms are out there and they're trying different teas to help with the lactation process, like once they hear that your tea works and it tastes good, like that's right. Like they're going to go tell all their mom friends because we've all done the opposite, right? Like when you try a brand and somebody asks for a referral or has a question about it, you're like, no, don't try this one. Like this one was horrible. Right, you got to go with this one. So I can imagine that that's the type of stuff that is really helping with your marketing and helping get the word out there, because it's got the life behind it. It's got like the taste. It smells good, and it's got all those senses that we love when it comes to tea.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's what I was starting to say. That's one of the things I say a lot is that, it's tea that you can see, smell, and taste the difference. It's like I said, it's not that crushed up powder in tea bags, plastic tea bags, because that's
doesn't taste the same.
And it's not toxic. It's not like soaked in, toxins and pesticides. That's other things too, that if it's not organic, that's what's happening. I know you being in California, that is a big thing for you folks out there. And it should be everywhere. That's one of the things that you as a state, in my opinion, you bring to more people should pay attention to. You guys are onto something,
Yeah, no, California is definitely on top of making sure it's healthy and it's got the right ingredients and that it's good for you.
Right.
But yeah, and that's something that we all should worry about, and it should be important to all of us, because there's so many different products nowadays that have chemicals or are not created. It's like manufacturally made versus naturally grown. Right. So making sure that you get those right herbs and spices and all of that put together so that you're able to offer a really clean product to your customers.
Exactly.
So I love that you do that.
Yeah, and we have some really great drinking teas too. There's just, we have our 4 Earl Greys. Earl Grey is really popular tea, and we have Earl Grey lavender and just
it
a
just
regular
tastes
Earl
good.
Grey. Right. And so we have a lot of good drinking teas too. And even on our website, we actually have on one of our blogs that we put like a gist of what our teas are, because we're more of a boutique. We have, what do we have, 30 teas right now? And you wanted to talk a little bit about how we had a couple of teas that we have, like our Tulsi tea, and what was that other one, that because customers asked for it.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, we try to customer. So I don't see that you have this tea and I'm dealing with this issue. So we get it. And we, supply it for you. We make something for you.
Right.
We try to listen to our customers.
Yeah.
So that helps us stand out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's great to know too, because a lot of people, if they don't see it on your shelf, they usually just go away and they find it somewhere else. But I love that they're coming to you and saying like, hey, I love your tea and I love your products. This is something that I'm looking for. And that you're able
to
we research it and then we source it and we put it together. And we hand blend and hand package all our teas too. So it's another thing that we do differently. It's not some, God, only knows how long it's been on the shelf type of grab it from the supermarket and throw it in your cart kind of tea, and it's not.
It's expired before you even get it home.
It's not that kind of
and we're not like sending out and telling some manufacturing plant what our blend is so they can create it for us and send it back to us. We do all of it in-house.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how do your clients come to you and work or to get tea from you? Is it kind of like you just order as you want, as you go? Do you have any kind of subscriptions and packages? Tell us a little bit about like how most of your customers come.
Right. We are working on doing subscription boxes, and this is just kind of like a prototype, but we're planning on having maybe 6 teas in a box, and then people can kind of tailor those too. And that's really our goal is the first quarter of this year. And pardon me. So what we want to do, we're kind of shooting around, and I think we'll probably do like a survey to our community and find out what people really are generally want. It's always a smart idea. And, that maybe they could tailor it to if maybe they want just drinking teas this month, but maybe they want next month, they want all the specialty teas, or maybe some kind of a holiday promotion we have going on. So we want to make it so that people can tailor it, not only the usual, you can go 6 weeks instead of every month, or you can slow it down or speed it up or whatever, but to actually, they can choose easily what they want in their box. And then we're thinking about putting maybe a full size, every certain number, every 4th box or whatever, you get a surprise tea, a full size pouch too. So we're just, this just right now, as I say, it's kind of a loose thing, loose leaf, but thing.
For now,
no pun intended.
But for now, you just shop on our website and buy the tea individually.
Right.
At myloyalteacompany.com.
Okay.
And we've got a first-time order if you use the code MyLoyalTribe, and then you'll get 25% off your first order. And shipping is $3.99 store-wide.
Okay, that's awesome. So what is one of the things that you feel like makes you stand out from amongst the competition of other tea companies that are out there? And this could be like other tea, like boutique type companies, or even against some like the bigger names. Like, what do you feel like is like your cutting edge?
I think that, like I'd mentioned before, listening to our customers, if you've got something that you want to see us carry, it does not take us long to get the ingredients and make it, and just reaching out to us through email, being more personable, not a big corporate company where you have to call a 1-800 number. We have a local number you can call and talk to us.
We're very active online. In our community. So.
Right. And not only that, but just like we had talked about before, the organic thing with not having it soaked in pesticides, being from certified organic growers. We do the best we can to find fair trade. And then just having, I lost what I was going to say. It just completely went out of my head.
It's okay.
Yeah. So
no, you did good.
Go ahead, because I can't remember what I was going to say. It was good too.
Unless you have another question. Oh, I'm sure it was. Brilliant, as you always are. I love my girl.
Well, so a lot of the people in our audience have businesses too, and we're always looking at different marketing strategies and different ways that we can present ourselves to grow our business. So I'm curious, what's been one of like your biggest strategies that's worked for you growing your business and helping you get it up and going? Like what's been like your top strategy?
For me, and this is a great question, because I love this. I love to learn. And I've learned to, like I've got Marie's book. And I love to, did you read it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I took my time with, I consume books, but I really took my time with this one and really, but anyways, I learned so much. And some of the things that, I go down the rabbit hole occasionally. Okay.
Strategies.
Yes, marketing. So for me, I love to learn, and I love, as Marie's taught and so many others, to implement, not just learn, but take action, not just, learn and then teach something to somebody. These are the things that make a huge difference. Also, there's a myriad of free content out there, but when you find, this is, for me, when you find somebody that really resonates with you, like you, Darlene, for your community, when people really, you resonate, they resonate with you, or however you would want to say that properly.
Yeah.
They don't be afraid to put money, behind it. Invest in yourself, invest in your business. These are things that are so important. And for me, we're learning on building sales funnels. And I love it. I didn't always, and the learning process, wow. But I'm really thankful for this whole experience. I wasn't prepared for the emotional part of it. Being an entrepreneur, my daughter's really a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I wasn't really prepared for that emotional part of it, but just keep going and never quit. Those would be my in a nutshell, my pieces of advice.
So as far as marketing, awesome. Social media.
Oh, was that did I?
As far as
you did awesome.
Strategy. Yeah, you did fine.
That's why I was trying to get like ClickFunnels or something something to that nature, some kind of a funnel.
Yeah. So Victoria, do you feel like there's any marketing strategies that you've taken to with the business that are different?
I'm really on the website creative end. I'm the one who does the blends and the research.
Right.
So I'm really good at Facebook and Instagram for my personal stuff, but that's something that's been a huge challenge for me as far as the business. Right. And my mom has just gone crazy with the research and just learning. And I own a cleaning service that's like been my bread and butter for a long time. And that's something that, as far as something that works for that business, is just word of mouth. That's just huge. Right. And I know as an online presence, it's not as big. I mean, it is good to have people tell their friends and their friends order and things. But as far as marketing, anything social media, Facebook ads and things, those things work. You just have to take your time with them and know what you're doing and really learn about it. YouTube everything.
And start before you're ready.
Yes, so true. I love that you guys balance each other out too. Like, like you're kind of more behind the scenes, Victoria, and you're taking care of the behind the scenes stuff. And Lori's kind of like the face, and she's out there marketing the business and growing it. And that's what a lot of successful business owners, when there's partnerships, like that's a lot of times how that works, is there's one person that takes over one piece and the other goes in the other direction. And then you guys can balance each other out. And it's a perfect blend. Well,
I love that. Cheers to you, darling. Come on, where's your cup? I know you have it there.
You have to know where you shine. I mean, I'm not really that, it's not that I'm not tech savvy, but it's just not something that's like seriously interesting to me, so I'd rather do something that interests me rather than not do something that interests me.
Exactly.
One of the things that I learned really early on with my business was listening to my body and listening to what feels good and doing what feels good versus just doing what everybody says you should do, or doing it because I feel like I have to. And when I really took that step back and started just breathing and relaxing and going I want to market in this way, or I want to show up in this way, whereas sometimes other ways I'm like, no, I don't want to do it that way. I don't just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean I have to. And when I realized that, that's when I was able to start showing up more authentically, instead of worrying about doing something that didn't feel comfortable. Like just
Right.
because a big influencer does something in some way does not mean that you
No,
have to do
that's
it.
for you.
And
Right,
Right.
exactly. Or
if
your
another
people.
tea company, like if another tea company is doing some kind of marketing strategy or they're doing something and you're like, oh, maybe they're onto something, but then you're like, no, like
Doesn't
that's
feel
not how
right.
I want to market.
Right.
Then you
go with
don't
your
do it.
gut.
Like
That's
Right.
right. That's great
do
advice.
what
That's
feels
right.
good to you.
Yeah, that's great advice.
And delegating tasks that you're not that great at, to
Right.
somebody who's really great at them.
Right. And they enjoy them and it lights them up. Why
Yeah.
have somebody trying to drudge through something if it lights the other, especially that's what's great about the two of us.
Yeah.
It's really neat that we're finding out that the skills and skill set that she has, I don't necessarily have and vice versa. So we really do, like you said, and that really meant a lot to me that you noticed that. You pointed that out. Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. And that's how it should be, especially when you're in a partnership with business, because business can be hard. There can be a lot going on. There's a lot of things happening. The wheels are always turning. But
Right.
when you can balance each other out and help each other, it gives you that support system instead of pushing against each other. Like you're working together and things are going to go so much more smoothly for you and your business.
Yep.
Right. I agree.
With that.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about thinking about where you are currently with your business. What's something that you wish you would have known on day one when you started?
Boy, that is a good question.
Oh, I can just jump in real quick.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Oh, yeah.
Business taxes, all things taxes. Sales and use tax, I don't know what that is, and things that
We do now, but we didn't.
we do
then.
now. Yeah, I mean, it's like, and your state's website is not very helpful with teaching you anything about what meaning is to this word, and this word is, you need to know what it means, and it's just not very helpful. So yeah, quarterly taxes, I had no idea that was something we needed to do. I mean, we did it on time, but it was just like,
but yeah, that would have been something to,
business
maybe know.
taxes. Mhm. Yeah. And how expensive accountants are. We didn't know that either.
oh, yeah.
They're
They're
so
so
important.
expensive.
And we always, especially in the beginning, you're like, oh, they're too expensive. We'll just do it on our own. Like, we don't need to pay somebody to do it. And then you do your first tax season when you're doing all your paperwork and you're like, holy crap, like you just don't know what you don't know.
Right,
And then
right, exactly.
You're like, all right, you can have all my money. Like, please figure this out for me because it's so overwhelming.
Here's
It's
the
very
documents.
overwhelming. Yeah. So that was something that had I known, I would have done a little bit more, delved a little deeper into that.
Yeah, because when you're crazy, I've been a businesswoman for a lot of years, but not for myself. I've worked for somebody else for, I was actually a licensed insurance agent and, even licensed in financial. So I don't mind that, but when it's your own thing, it's still different, so, so there's just so much to learn. But one of the things, and I have to always keep saying this to my mind, is just enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
I mean, just live for each moment, because I've lived in a state of overwhelm a lot of years. And I just I don't want to live like that. So that was another thing as far as tea and taking a moment for yourself. I mean, we really need to take a moment for ourselves throughout the day, even if it's 5 minutes. Because Darlene, raising the family that you have, you just have to if you have to go off into the restroom and just
breathe.
Right, breathe, that you but that's one of the things that we want to bring to the table, so to speak, for everybody is just maybe I want to make a change in my life. That would be more of our ideal customer. And they're like, but I don't even really know where to start. I'm intrigued or I'm interested about tea, but I really don't know how to properly brew it. And these are the things we plan on doing, is doing like little videos. And we do have a YouTube channel. I only have a couple videos on there, our origin story, things like that. But we really just want people to just use this as a jumping off point. It's like, what? I really have heard of morning routines and maybe evening routines. And I want to really start bringing the best me to the table for my family, for my business, for myself, for everybody I come in contact with. And so you just take a moment to prepare your tea and just center yourself, and maybe read. I heard back in 1998, I was listening to Tony Robbins on cassette tapes. I'm dating myself now. And he always talked about that hour of power, and I think and then even, I don't know if you heard of Terry Savelle Foy, she talks about that too. she does a lot of conferences and things, but she brought that to my mind recently. So that's why I kind of wanted to tell you this little story. But that was one of the things that, you just take 20 minutes to move your body, 20 minutes to meditate or pray, and 20 minutes to read something, for your mind. And, these are things that you can do while you're sipping your tea, something like that. And then you really, your day starts off with the right tone.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, it definitely does. I talk a lot about like morning routines with my clients and making sure that they have a routine to make sure that they are giving their best self to the day.
Right.
And a lot of times when you just get up and it's like, you have to like get dressed real quick and run downstairs, grab your coffee, and you're going out the door and you're taking kids. Like that's not really setting yourself up for success for the day, right? Like
Right.
that's kind of you're like that hamster in that real cycle already. Where I love what I call like a slow morning, where I can get up before my kids. And it doesn't always happen. Like every day is different. But when you can get up before your kids and come downstairs and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and journal for a little bit or exercise or even just sit and read or just sit and like veg out and just like completely like allow yourself to have like that time for yourself. Those are the mornings where I have like more successful days and my days go smoother and I don't feel rushed and stressed out. So I'm completely in agreement with you. Like tea should definitely be a part of your morning routine. It's just a way to like slow down and enjoy life. Like life is fast. It goes fast enough as it is. Like
it does.
Take the time.
Yeah. It's so funny because most of the time I'm waking up and I don't like waking up too early because I go to bed so late, once the kids are in bed and my husband and I, we eat dinner together and have time together and just talk or watch something on TV and just have that time. By the time we look at the clock, it's like midnight and then I got to be up at 6 and it's like waking up that extra hour earlier just to have me time seems so daunting. But when I actually do it, it makes such a difference in my overall attitude for the day. Just, the way my outlook on the day, even though I'm a little bit more tired, I just feel, I guess I could go to bed an hour earlier.
Right. Or even a half an hour, or maybe prepare something the night before.
Right.
I always I would pick my clothes out the night before or something, or maybe take a shower at night or bath or whatever instead of in the morning. You can just, work things out like that, adjust it. You can grab an extra 15, 20 minutes here or there, It doesn't have to, and you figure out what works for you. Sorry.
Yeah, you can look at your night routine and make sure you're setting up the evening so that it's more beneficial for you in the morning,
right?
Yeah. Or vice versa. Like knowing like which activities you do in the evening, which ones you do in the morning, and that'll at least can help eliminate some of the stress if you prepare a little bit the night before.
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what do you feel is like one of your biggest lessons that you've learned since starting your business?
Well, I think I alluded to it before. For me, where I'm at in my life right now, I don't know if it's a lesson, but I guess it is. I really want to enjoy the process and not allow myself to get overwhelmed and celebrate the little wins and, and time management. I have journals. These are things that are like super important to me. And I just because you mentioned journaling and then just slot in my day. Even if I know that I'm better off in the morning. I thought when I retired, not really retired, but retired from my career, corporate America, to my own business, I thought that I would sleep in a little and, but I really find that I'm a morning person and I actually like that. I get up, I have my routine, I walk my dog, Izzy. She's my beauty beagle is what I call her. And we walk the neighborhood. She walks me through the neighborhood at a brisk pace, which is fine because I wouldn't be out there at the crack of dawn. Well, it's getting later and later now because I don't have to, have that alarm clock go off anymore. Oh, my earring came off. So, but yeah, I did it again.
Biggest lesson.
And just really celebrate the wins and just time management and really just enjoy the journey. Just enjoy the process because this is my dream here. I get to work with my daughter. It's one of my dreams.
Couldn't get any better than that.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like the lesson for me would be and it's something that I need to take my own advice to on a lot of things, is to not make excuses for, well, I'm too busy to do this tonight, so I'm going to do it next week, or just get it done while you're thinking about it, because, putting things off, whether it's a blog post you've wanted to write for a while and you put it off for a month or 2 months, just take the time to do it now, while you're thinking about it. Because otherwise, not only will you forget, or you'll forget details that were really fresh in your brain. You're like, that would be so good, and and then you forget it. And, just take the time to do things and take care of things. But that's another thing, like I said, I need to take my own advice a lot.
I take notes on my phone.
Procrastination is huge when it comes to entrepreneurship, because so many of us have like these long laundry lists of things that we think of and we want to do. And if we don't actually schedule it and put it into our calendar and, hold ourselves accountable, that appointment is just as important that's with yourself, to write that blog post or to do that Facebook Live or whatever that is. But that's the standing appointment between you and yourself, right? Me, myself, and I. And you treat it just as if you would if you were meeting a best friend for coffee. Like if you put it on the calendar, it's in pen, it's real, it's happening, and you hold that commitment to yourself. But it's so easy to procrastinate and go, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, because nobody else knows that I didn't do it because I didn't tell anybody, or maybe you guys two talked. But a lot of times when, especially like for myself, it's just me. So I can easily procrastinate, right? I try really hard not to, and I try to put it in my calendar so it happens. But it's a lot of my clients come to me and they're like, well, I have this list of things and I want to do them, but like there's always that but for what
get your butt out of the way, right?
Is more important, or what else came up, or I decided to spend 2 extra hours on Facebook scrolling mindlessly when I could have wrote that blog post.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Being super aware of that procrastination, I think, is huge, Victoria. So good to know.
Well, you guys are a little busy, raising your family, so
it can be busy, and it's easy to fall into that. Well, there's I got to take my kid to karate, or there's gymnastics, or whatever the extracurriculars, and I can't do it right now. I've got 10 loads of laundry just sitting there on the floor in the laundry room waiting to be put in because it won't even fit in the baskets anymore. All these different
real life.
And it's just it can get so overwhelming, but just to stop and just take care of it. But also something I've learned too as a lesson is to it kind of goes against what I was just saying, is like, make sure you're taking time away from your business or whatever to spend time with your family and to keep those relationships strong. Because I do have 2 different businesses. I find myself coming home being like, okay, hi guys. Okay, bye guys. I got to go in the office and take care of a lot of work. And then I'm working and I barely see them some days because I've got so many things I've got to do and I got to stick to them and I got to make sure that they're done. And so it's just finding a balance of procrastinating when it comes to your family, but not procrastinating at all ever.
Right. And pencil that time in too. Right, Darlene? I mean, you can actually slot that into your time management and say, okay, from, maybe on a Sunday, you just kind of go through and say, okay, plan my week and say, okay, well, I'm going to from 8 to 9 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm going to, just go into each one of the kids' rooms, or we're going to, just kind of whatever, you can pencil that stuff in too,
Yeah, those are like the big moments, right? Like you want to put like the important rocks into your calendar first. Like if you have kids have karate, or they have those different activities, or you have doctor's appointments, all of that stuff. And then you schedule your business around that time as well. To balance it out. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love planning out my week. Like I typically, you mentioned planning out on Sunday nights, but either Sunday nights or even Friday nights for me, I sit down on Friday at the end of my day.
Glass of wine.
I open up my planner and I look at what my calendar has on it. I plug everything into my hourly, like weekly calendar from my main calendar. And I like plug all those things in. I put all the big rocks in first that are non-negotiables, like client time slots, or those things that are already scheduled. And then I look at my task lists of things that are coming up that week, plug all those in, and I make sure that there's time in there specifically for family. And every week's different, right? Some weeks you have, it's, I don't even use the word balance anymore. I call it like living in harmony. Because like life and business, like especially as entrepreneurs, like we started these businesses so that we could be with our families more, or at least most of us did.
Yeah.
We want to be able to be home. Like for me, one of the biggest things for me was I wanted to tuck my kids in bed at night. And in my old life in retail management, I was working nights and weekends
Yeah.
for the most part. So I did tuck in some nights, but like that was like killing me being away for all of those important things. I was missing certain things. So I have to be like super diligent now. Like if I want to go to a networking event on a Thursday night, that's fine if I make that choice. And it's not, I haven't been gone for, like the past 3 nights before that. But
Right,
I get
exactly.
now, which is like the beautiful thing I feel like as entrepreneurs is we're able to schedule it to balance out in both ways and have that harmony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very true.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you. That helps us too.
Yeah, awesome. So as we start to wrap things up, I have a couple fun questions for you guys that I'd love to learn just a little bit more about you guys. And we kind of hinted on this one already. So I was going to ask you guys if you have a morning routine, and if so, what is it? We talked a little bit about it, but is there anything specifically for your morning routines that you didn't mention that you want to share with us?
How about you?
My morning routine, I usually get up. I usually brew some tea and let it steep because I don't like my tea too hot. It burns my mouth. I don't like it too hot. So I let it sit. I get dressed, I do my hair, and then I get my tea. I sit down for a little bit and, talk to my clients for the day. And we're trying to just, because the cleaning service, there's people will cancel last minute or want to schedule last minute. So I'm trying to answer all the emails and stuff from when I'm closed after 5 the previous day, just trying to answer that. And then my kids get up, I do the girls' hair. There's always something exciting that I'm supposed to be doing with their hair, different braids and different
themes of the week or something.
And then they all want something super intricate. So we do all that. And then I get my stuff ready to go out for the day to meet with my crew and finish up what they're doing. And then that's it. That's my morning routine. My husband gets them ready for school other than that and takes them. So I'm off the hook for that so I can get my things done.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome. And Laura, you already alluded.
Yeah,
you alluded that you walk your dog and do that,
Yeah.
but is there anything else that you do?
Yeah, I pretty much do like that hour of power kind of thing, 20 minutes of moving the body. Although Izzy, like I said, my beagle, she won't tolerate just 20 minutes. So it's longer than that. And now that I'm actually full-time in the business, I don't have to, the last 2 years I was working part-time. So now since October 24th, I'm officially retired from my career and then I'm doing this full time. So I don't actually have to, other than set the alarm clock. So, but I do, like I said, I'm a morning person. So I get up and take the dog for a walk. That's pretty much one of the first things I do. I learned to not get on social media right away. There's one of the things for me and some of the things that have had people give me some of that advice. You don't want to let those people, everybody in your life so early. You want to take some time to be with you and your thoughts and your plans for the day. I mean, that's what I heard that and I thought that makes sense. I'm going to try that. And it actually works better for me. I heard somebody say, Mel Robbins, I don't know if you know who she is. Mm-hmm. She said that she actually makes sure that her phone is plugged in another room. So she on purpose doesn't just like, well, I'll reach for it while I'm still in bed kind of thing. So I like to learn from different people and say, you know what, that really works for me. I'm going to try that, or at least try it and see if it works for me. So, So I do like the hour of power. I like to move my body. I like to read. I like to pray and prepare my tea and drink that while I'm doing those things. Some people meditate, like yoga, just different things. I like to change it up a little so I'm not bored, but I just still do those kind of things like that hour of power.
Awesome. So what's your favorite way to recharge then, or to take time for you?
I don't really get a lot of me time at this season in my life. Right. It's not really about me. So I don't really have a whole lot of advice on that.
Do you do anything? Do you sneak away for 15 minutes?
My husband, he always tells me, why don't you go out shopping? Why don't you go do something for yourself? Go do your hair, do your nails, or whatever it is that you want to do.
Right.
But self-care. Then I inherently feel guilty because I'm away from my kids so much with work and 2 different jobs and 2 different businesses and whatever, that I would rather, for my time for me is to make sure that they know that I'm here. Let's hang out. I'll paint their nails. We do all kinds of fun stuff with their nails. We'll rearrange their rooms. Like we're really just try something new and do something together, watch a movie together, go out as a family together. We'll go to flea markets and go on walks at parks and things. And that's kind of my recharge time, is when I feel like I'm not letting them down. I'm there. Here I am, so that's just kind of where I'm at in my season, in the season
I
of my
love that
life.
you mentioned that, because it's the quality time, right? That's so more important. So especially, we're busy, we have businesses we're running, we're doing all these things, and we're doing it for them, but we want to be able to make those moments count too. So I love that you do that.
And that's what we're working towards too. We're working towards getting Victoria, into full-time into the tea business, and having her employees actually do the cleans, and that she runs from home, that aspect of talking to clients and the scheduling and whatever. But you can do both, so that, and then we're working on our podcast called A Tea and a Talk. We're going to be, I'm hoping first quarter of this year, we are going to have that set up ready to go. So just some little things like that.
It'll be fun.
Very cool. And I have one more fun question for you before we wrap up. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? If I just gave you a plane ticket right now.
I love to travel. I'll take this one. I love to travel. I've been to Ireland and Italy. I'm actually of Italian and Irish descent. We have a few others, but those are the two things that I identify with the most. And if for some reason I felt like I had to get my feet on the land of my ancestors. So yeah, I would go to Europe in a second. And that's one of the big dreams is, let's say we, really, is quite successful, because that's what we're going for. We want to be quite successful with this. We want to change people's lives, just be of great value to people and change our lives as well. So, and that's one of the dreams, is I want to take like the core 9 of us to Italy and Europe and just kind of hang out for a couple months. So that's what the goal is in the next decade. So
that'll be amazing. It'll definitely happen. What about you, Victoria? If you could do your dream vacation, where would you get swooped off to?
Anywhere but here.
We love Florida, but
Florida's nice. I mean, we live in a very populated part of Florida, and this time of year it's just crazy busy.
The traffic,
So anywhere just to get away and not have to think about work in any capacity of any kind, just hang out with my family. I'll go. I mean, I don't want to go anywhere. I mean, I'd like to go maybe to the mountains, or I'd love to go to California or Oregon, Washington. Any of those states would be wonderful. Or
see me.
Yeah, I mean, I would be awesome just to get out of just everyday life. So anything would be a vacation, and I'd be excited to take it. So whenever you're ready to send me that plane ticket, I'd be happy to take
it. That's great.
Well, thank you so much for being on with us
thank
today.
You for having us.
Let me tell the audience where they can connect with you. Where do you like to hang out on social media?
Okay, so we're on Instagram and Facebook at My Loyal Tea Company, MYLOYALTEA Company.
You have the beautiful banner behind you too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I'll be Vanna for a second.
Yeah. And, that's awesome. Yeah. And then I know you mentioned, Victoria, that if people come to your website, you have a free gift for them where they could try some of the samples of the tea, right? And they just go directly to your website and they can.
Yeah, we've got a subscribe button for our email list. It pops up when you first sign into the website, and you can shoot us an email with the top 5 samples that you'd like to try, and we'll send them out to you.
Awesome. Yay. Thank you so much for being on with me.
Thank you.
I so appreciated hearing your story and just learning how you started this business and kind of where it's at in this process. And I'm excited for it to continue to grow. And our community, of course, is going to wrap our arms around you and love on you guys. And I know they're going to love your guys' story just as much as I did.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It means so much. And we were really honored to speak with you.